Short video for you guys today, but nonetheless a very, very exciting and important video because as we know, the Dodge Charger Daytona concept was speculated that Dodge might actually put an internal combustion in this car, and they denied it for a long time, but now it's confirmed that we're actually going to get an inline six, a brand new inline six in the new Charger Daytona. And on top of that, Dodge today just released some photos of the pre-production version of the new Charger, and it looks fantastic. It looks a lot like the concept, which also looked great, and to me it just looks even better now knowing that we're actually gonna get an internal combustion engine. Talk about this design, obviously, from the photos that we have. We don't have a lot of photos, but I'm gonna go through the ones that we have, and then I also talk about the engine. What type of engine is this? We're gonna go into a little bit of detail in that, but if you want to read the full articles, I'm gonna link all, I think there were 3 articles here. If you want to dive really deep into what's going on with this powertrain, you can click on those links down in the description. So, first of all, this article from Car and Driver, Dodge released the first photos of the next generation Charger, which will go on sale sometime late this year, which I think feels very soon. Even though it was 2022 when we first saw the concept, it still feels very tight schedule here, but that's even better if it comes out this year. So the 2025 Dodge Charger has been shown in pre-production form. This is pretty much what the what the production version is going to look like. They're probably going to make some fine tuning to some tweaks and stuff to quality assurance, but the overall design is going to look exactly like this. And here we can even see the headlights now. More on that when we jump into Photoshop. It looks a lot like the Daytona SRT concept. And while the new 2025 Charger will be offered with an electric powertrain, it'll also be available with a gas-fed engine, and more on that in a minute. The days of V8 powered Dodge Chargers are gone. However, the muscle car is not dead. I kind of had the feeling that Dodge would do this because the Challenger and Charger, they sold so well with, in car design terms, ancient designs. So it would be a very stupid decision to just let go of the internal combustion engines and just make this electric. And specifically now that Ford came out with the 2024 Mustang that comes with a V8 and a manual, I mean, they can't let Ford have all the fun. Here you can see the front end of this beauty. We have this integrated wing right here. Just a beautiful design. The production intent Charger features an illuminated Fratzog logo between its headlights, which is situated on either side of the R wing. This is called the R wing right here. Front opening of the concept has been inspired by the tall wing that we saw on the original 1969 Charger Daytona with this massive park bench on the back. So you have staggered width tires, and this setup, this stance that we have, more on that. I love the stance, how this looks, and I hope they keep this stance that we have here. Staggered width tires. We can also see that it either has a charge port or possibly a door for the gas tank right about here in this area. But I don't think this is actually going to be a hybrid though. It's just going to be a gas or an electric vehicle. Hopefully later they would add some hybrid with electric propulsion in addition to this new gas engine as well, because that in my case would be the best setup for this car. Here's the first article from The Drive. The rumors are true. Dodge isn't done with gas-powered muscle cars yet, and the next generation Charger will get an inline six. And here we have the concept, and this is again pretty much what the production version is going to look like. Gonna change out the side mirrors. These are way too thin for US regulations. I'm 100% sure. And these wheels, I wasn't a fan of them when it first came out, but now when I think about the 60s and 70s wheels of muscle cars and Challengers, this is a great modernization actually of that type of design of wheels. And this is the fun stuff here, where they where Dodge denied that is going to be any sort of internal combustion engines in the new Charger. So in 2022, when the concept came out, they proclaimed that they was done making gas-powered muscle cars. Dodge, builder of supercharged V8s and seller of over 2 million Challengers and Chargers, is just going to stop just like that. And again, when Ford came out with a V8 Mustang, and of course they're not gonna do that. As it turns out, no. Both a full electric version and gas version powered by the company's 3-liter Hurricane engine. Twin turbo inline 6 will be provided. When they asked the CEO, he even shut it down reports that the next gen models would get an internal combustion option by saying, and I quote, "The story is incorrect." And here you can see this new twin turbo inline 6 looking pretty beefy here. So we have twin turbos. As I said, I don't think you have an electric powertrain or a hybrid for this Hurricane engine, which I think they're actually going to do at some point later on. So you have a 3-liter twin turbo that is said to pump out V8 levels of power. That means that you have 2 versions of it, one with more than 400 horsepower and 450 pound-feet of torque. That will be the base model, so that is pretty good for a base engine. And then you have the high output with at least 500 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque, and flat power curves are said to provide 90% of the torque from a very low 2,350 RPM. And it's been designed to save more fuel and to accommodate electrification in the future. So this is the line that I was looking for here. As I said, if you want to check these articles out, I'm going to link them down in the description. There's a lot more about this engine down here. But now let's jump into Photoshop here quickly. Have a look at these photos that look like sort of, you know, intentional spy photos from Dodge since they released it themselves. But have a look at this design. It looks absolutely fantastic. This is a great refresh or modernization of the current Challenger, which again is one of the best, probably the best retro design I think I've ever seen. And this is just a nice step up from that, even though you got a little bit more fluid here, a little more curves in this design. We still have it being unmistakably a Challenger, or a Charger in this case. And have a look at the stance. I wanted to talk to you about this stance. We have staggered setup. It looks like we have maybe 21s in the rear and 20s in the front. You know what I think about that, but it's kind of different when it comes to muscle cars, because muscle cars already supposed to be a little Hot Wheel-ish, so I don't really mind it here on the Charger, but I do mind it on BMWs, as you know. But look at the fatness of this rear tire and just how beautiful it sits on the ground. Even the front wheel looks very fat here, and I think you need this if you're going to have 500 horsepower. Not sure if it's going to be sent to the rear wheels only, or if it's going to be an all-wheel drive version, maybe like 20% to the front end to be able to put all the power down a little better. And then you can see here in the front end, we now have clear headlights, which was very hard to see if the concept actually had headlights at all, because in the concept all we could see light up was this light bar down here, which I think is a great addition to this design. You have the new logo here, and you also have this wing that we talked about, so air coming in right here, which seems to be a design feature that is trending right now, to have this front mounted wing to push down the front end. We also have this intake in the lower section, but look at how static everything is still. And that is what I'm glad to see, because this is what we want to see when it comes specifically to Dodge muscle cars. Now here's another picture of the front end with a little bit of camo on it. Not sure what this is going to cover up, because it's just a couple of patches on this car. But here you can more clearly see the headlights, and you can more clearly see the intake in the lower section here as well. Still have the beautiful stance. The wheels do not look like the ones we saw on the concept. These look more traditional, I would say, but still look very, very good. I kind of like this. This looks to be a darker, maybe a little hint of blue-gray, which looks great. And I think black wheels on this type of design and this type of car actually suit this car. And you can actually see here, just notice that you do have a different design, a much beefier side mirror here. And this is, again, something that I said was probably going to change for the production version, and it looks like they did that here. Another photo of it here, you can clearly see the holes in the front end looking very, very cool. And a bit more detail of the wheels. Not sure if these are actually the wheels that are going into production. Probably, I would think they are. And last but not least, a close-up of the front end with the headlights illuminated here. Clearly, unmistakably a Dodge muscle car when you look at this design. So if this comes out like this, even though it doesn't have the V8, I'm so in love with the current Challenger design that I would probably go with this one over the new Mustang.